So I'm sitting in the garden of my house. Directly in front of me is a tree. In fact, there's 5 trees. 4 of them have leaves and 1 of them doesn't. Is this tree a loser? Can trees be losers? I guess not having leaves as a tree is like not having a Bugatti as a man. It wasn't really that hard to get. All I had to do was be smarter than everybody else and do the work they were too lazy to do. It wasn't that difficult. But on a side note, talking about my monumental successes, coming from a single-parent household in Luton, England, the lowest income town in the entire country. Before that, living in Gary, Indiana, the murder capital of America at the time. Then becoming the most famous man on the planet, worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Some would estimate over $1 billion. I pulled all of this off with maybe 60% effort. I could have tried harder. I mean, I tried. I'm not lazy. But I could have tried harder. I can't sit here and say I gave it all I had. That's a lie. Perhaps I was just the first one to do it. The first one to have enough balls to say what everybody else was thinking. But the fact I came first certainly had something to do with it. My coach used to say, if you land first, you land twice. It's true, especially on the street. If the fight is certain, Putin said this. Growing up in the streets of Leningrad, I learned that if a fight is certain, you must at least strike first. Don't lose your element of surprise. Being first, there's a lot to say about it. And even you brokies at home know this. Even you broke, insignificant, stupid, lazy, ugly losers at home. You, right now, you watching this, know I'm telling the truth. If you get into Bitcoin first, you make money. If you get into AI first, you're going to make some money. You need to try and be first. And I've talked about it at length, about how you're never going to be first. Because you get your information from Twitter. By the time it's on Twitter, everyone knows you're last. The news, last. You need to have a network. You gotta have guys who know guys. You gotta know people. You need the war room. I've talked about all this. I don't want to repeat myself. You're out here by yourself without the perspicacity bestowed upon a network. Opposingly, you're trying to use your own personal perspicacity, which is lacking at best, to outcompete groups of men who know things you do not know and will always be in before you will. And I'm reminded by all of this, by this fuck-up tree, because this tree isn't actually any less of a tree than the other trees. It's just as tall and it's the same species. It should have leaves. The problem is, it got planted a couple months later. And by the time it got planted, the other trees had already established their root systems. And now this tree can't get its roots deep enough to get enough water to grow leaves. It can stay alive. It's not dead. But it's just kind of there. And it can't get ahead. A lot like you in your pathetic life. You have an apartment, you have a car, but you don't have leaves. You don't have Bugattis and Paganis and Kernan's eggs and mansions and jets and yachts. And you're not famous. You don't have any of this cool stuff. Because you were just a little bit too late. Now you're going through life saying things like I say, because you're a fan of me. Hey man, top G, man. Why didn't you say it back then? Because you were a coward, you were fearful. Now the world is mine, all of it. When you're last, it's extremely difficult. Now, if this tree was a top tree, like top G, I'm built different, so I could have come last and just destroyed the roots of all of my competitors. But the average person like you need to get in first. Your only hope of outcompeting a man like me is to get in first. If me and you date a girl on the same day, it's done. For all of you. You don't stand a chance, none of you. Your jokes, you're funny, I'm the most famous man on the planet. It's over. But if you meet her first, and I don't meet her for a long time, you gotta be first if you're not exceptional. Even if you're the same as all the other trees, if you're not first, you end up with no leaves. I guess the story here is that most of you are so brutally unremarkable, your only chance of ever succeeding ever is to simply know things other people don't know. That's your only hope. That's it. And the worst thing about this is that you unremarkable idiots, when you're told something that other people don't know, you, because you don't understand how unremarkable you are, don't listen. If you looked in the mirror and said, yeah, I walk around the mall and I see people pretty much just like me. I ain't shit. I better pay attention when somebody important tells me something. But instead you look in the mirror and go, well, my girlfriend thinks I'm special. I listen to her lip gloss. So you're a dumbass. And then someone will come along and say to you, hey, I can teach you something. I can give you a chance to become a remarkable individual. If I woke up and thought I was fantastic, I needed reason to think it. I couldn't be arrogant and say, I'm fantastic. Why? I just am. God loves me, bro. Those people are losers. I'd sit and say, well, let me go kick the shit out of people and become a kickboxing world champion so I can prove I'm better than others. I'll do anything it takes to prove I'm the best. Because then I get to say I'm the best and say, objectively it's true. Here's an objective fact. Look, I am the best at this. I am the most Googled man on the planet. The numbers show it. Me.